we're still the #1 CRM platform, and we've been that for 26 years, let's say. But for us, I think the excitement around what happens when we infuse AI and technology into this platform and the capabilities that it can bring. And so, it was really just a call out for us to say, hey, this is a new world. This is a new way of work. And it was really just to draw attention to the absolute magic of Agentforce and what AI is bringing to this technology. I'm Linda Saunders. I look after solution engineering for the African continent for Salesforce, and I have an additional role as country manager for South Africa. I think, for me, it was a natural step in terms of, helping to get the South African market, to a better place, etc. So obviously worked really intimately with Zuko, who was leading the country before. And so it's been, just a very natural progression, been great to also support the teams in a slightly different role. And the blend, of course, the country leadership position with also solution engineering has really given me a really insightful angle into how to really support the teams on the ground. Our legal entity was created about 4 years ago. But in fairness, we've been in the market for quite a lot longer than that. And so sort of over the last 4 years, what we've seen is really an explosion, not only in terms of what is Salesforce, but also the uptake from customers. So we've really seen an expansion of the ecosystem from a partner perspective, from a skills perspective. And, we've had the addition of a really magic lady. Her name is Ursula Fear. She's come in and she's really helped us as a very unique position in the Salesforce ecosystem to build out skills for the African continent. So we've got this beautiful blend of, the customer base is growing. We're seeing so many different businesses now, taking Salesforce and doing really exciting things with it. And then we've got the skills that are growing in the continent, and then our partner network as well is really expanding. So it's a really exciting time to be part of the ecosystem and to see that growth, but also how much the solutions are maturing in each of our customers. So we're really starting to see a really additional value. And obviously now with Agentforce, it's been an explosion of interest in the Salesforce platform. I think for our customers, they've been asking a lot about what this is. And so the Agentforce edition is really, I think I said it in the keynote, was really around we're infusing AI technology across the ecosystem. So it's an add-on, but still very much true to our core. We had the privilege of interviewing a customer today who is in the financial services sector and actually has a customer-facing agent live in South Africa, and one of the first globally to be in the financial services industry and putting a customer-facing agent live. So certainly we're not lagging in terms of South African examples of the Agentforce story, but I think from a customer perspective, Salesforce has also been trusted in, let's call it artificial intelligence. It's not just, let's call it Agentic solutions. So we've been in predictive for 11, 12 years, and we've slowly developed all of this technology, et cetera, et cetera. So we've also got co-pilot type capabilities where you have an AI assistant that's working with you in the app. So what we're seeing is customers are sitting down with us and they're looking at the vision that they have in terms of supporting, whether it's their internal employees or whether it's their own customers, and we're helping them craft an AI strategy. And of course, Agentforce is the pinnacle of that. It's really where AI comes into its own and takes action proactively. So a full gamut of technologies around the AI solutions. We've got a lot of, and unfortunately I can't disclose all of that because it's obviously customer confidential, but certainly we have seen a massive uptake in terms of the demand for testing Agentforce solutions. And so what we've done is we've got a team together, we're working with customers. There are some who are even deploying agents on their own at the moment. So they're actually building their own agents without any support from us. And we've seen a lot of use cases. I did mention that we've really branched out in terms of some of the out-the-box capabilities. And what we're seeing with customers is they're using that as a base and they're configuring those out-of-the-box capabilities to really help them accelerate these Agentforce sort of deployments. So it's been an exciting time for us at Salesforce and certainly for our customers. For us, CRM is always going to be the sort of basis of what we do. It's about how do we get you closer to your customers. So, whether you've got sales teams, service teams, marketing teams, commerce teams, and obviously data teams, IT teams, we're always going to be supporting those people in the organization. But I think for us, it's also now about data cloud. And you see there's a big call out around, if you're thinking about agentic solutions, the data becomes critical. And data cloud has been a game changer for us because it's part of that deeply unified platform, and it's allowing us to really surface that data, not only to enable humans, because we all still have people that work in all of those departments, but it's exactly the same data that we're using to really get those agentic capabilities into the market. So super exciting technology stack, and because it's deeply unified, I think it's unique in terms of any of our competitors. I mean, the value is really incredible. I mean, we've seen things like productivity gains. We've seen things, there's still hard metrics, and we've demonstrated a lot of those with various customers from around the world. And if you head to our website and you look up the Agentic solutions, you will actually see a bunch of those customer stories and the gains that they've had. But I think there's some of the gains that we can't really measure that I've seen certainly in organizations. And it's things like reduced employee frustration. Not something you can really measure, but we've seen it in our own teams. I mean, we're using agentic solutions. It is so fantastic for me to be able to speak to an agent in, say, Slack and get some knowledge and surface answers, etc., instead of having to read through policy documents. And so I think there's a lot of benefits that are just outside of the normal metrics that we would measure that we're also starting to see come to the fore, which is pretty exciting. For us, the rest of 2025 is really, we're singularly focused on really helping customers to not only make sure that they get the most out of their CRM implementation, because as you can see, that deeply unified platform, it's one thing. And so that means that our customers need to be successful with the applications that they have, building out the capabilities in those. We're helping our customers to really get data cloud implemented, because that's the springboard for everything that's agentic. And then on top of that, we're infusing that agentic layer and really helping them to really reach new heights. So that's the team's focus for the year. And certainly we're going to be supporting customers in terms of building skills, supporting the ecosystem in terms of building skills, because even if we have the best tech in the world, we have to take people on this journey. This is not about agents replacing human beings. This is about humans and agents working together. And that means Team Human needs to get upskilled as well. So that's really the focus for us for the rest of the year. I think maybe sort of two call outs to me is one, don't fear agentic solutions, don't fear the technology. And the only way to get around that is potentially to really educate yourself. And at Salesforce, we really believe that people should be able to upskill. And so we make our training available free to everybody. So if you head to trailhead.com, you can actually go and learn about the technology. And even better than that, we actually give you a free playground. So you can build these agents and you can learn more about them. So there's definitely an education piece. And I think with education, you reduce the fear of like groundbreaking technologies. But also, I think in working with it, you actually uncover some of these insights. So that's sort of on the one side, the very human side. But then I think on the other side, there is a bit of a mindset change. And we learned this when we were implementing these agentic solutions in our own space. And I'll give you an anecdotal sort of story about this. So when we launched our first agent, a customer-facing agent, it's referencing articles, we had an incident where the agent surfaced an answer to a customer that wasn't quite what we'd hoped for. So it was giving our customers sort of competitive information, etc., which is clearly not what we'd like it to do. And what we did is we then tried to change the guardrails. We wanted to force it to not do something, and that actually broke it. So what we learned through this process is we actually needed to ground the agent as if it's a human being instead of a piece of technology with hard and fast rules. We had to give it the latitude to act as a Salesforce employee rather than tell it to do this or don't do that. So it's really about really empowering people to learn and also, thinking about things in a different way, because we're not used to dealing with technology in this space like this.